Hi guys, it's Alicja here, welcome to my channel. I'm sorry for my voice because I am a little bit sick. I just came back from Egypt, which going back, like the trip back was complete hell, and I will probably make a story time about it because you guys really want to hear it. It's very interesting when you look back, not when you actually have to go through it. But anyway, so today I'm going to show you how I shaded this drawing, which is a little bit more realistic style, which I don't do every day, just sometimes. I like to do it sometimes. It's very freaking easy, and I think if you follow this video, when you just watch it or put it in a background and draw along maybe, you can just do it. You can just do it like me. It's very freaking easy. So don't worry, you can get almost the same results. Like besides the line art, it will probably be the same. I will be using my brushes though, so I don't know if you can get the same like blending brushes and other things. Like the blending brush is something important. You can get it on my website. It's on in the only blend brush set, but you can also just use something else you like to blend with. I just always use my blending brush, so yeah. Anyway, so let's color everything in. It's going to be a pretty long video, so because I just want to talk about every detail I want. I don't want to miss anything, and also just put it back in the background. Like you don't need to watch it only. Like those videos, those tutorials I'll make, they are made for you to relax. Take your iPad, put the video in the background, and enjoy and learn and relax. Okay. So I'm coloring everything. You don't need to focus on the color that much. Most of the time when you start, it's just 2 colors or 3 colors, which is the skin color, the hair color, and we can already do like the eyebrows, which are probably the same color as the hair or similar. You can like color in the eyes and the eye color, but you don't have to focus on which color those are if you draw digitally, of course, because you can just change it with the effects like the saturation, hue, and those stuff. So it's always easier. It saves you time if you just choose any color if you're not that good with colors, and then change it later. See what works together, you know. For this step, I'm using my extra smooth edges coloring from my cartoonish makeup brush set, which is my favorite brush set, I think, for now. Anyway, so now that I'm coloring, if you don't have time, you can skip this part. Like this is just coloring. Everyone can do it. I know a lot of you guys enjoy me coloring, so I always leave this part in. It's also a little bit of an ASMR kind of video because you can hear. Hopefully, you can hear it well. The background noises, it's pretty nice. So while I'm coloring right here, you can see that I missed the color on her shoulder. I always do it. While I'm here and we're just coloring it in, we can talk about a few things I really want you guys to know and listen to me, because you should just listen to me. I am your teacher, okay? Flip your drawings, guys. I know I say it a lot, but remember to flip your drawings horizontally. I don't do it here because coloring is not where you should do it that much, but when you're sketching, you're doing line art, flip your drawings. Okay, number 1. Number 2, use a reference. As you can see, I draw a lot. Like drawing is my job, okay? Do you see the reference? I'm using a reference. Reference is important, although I'm not necessarily trying to make the character look like Normani. I just really want to know the colors, the contrasts, the composition, the anatomy, how everything looks, how everything works together, because you can't just know it from your memory. A lot of artists, you guys trust your memory way too much, and I learned from myself my memory was never good. Like, if you knew me like personally, I'm the person with the worst memory from all the other people you know, for sure. I can bet like money on it. My memory is like a 4-year-old with ADHD, like something like this. So with art, although I do remember it visually better, but I learned not to trust myself with those things. And you should not trust yourself with your memory, drawing memory too. Or at least check it often enough, you know? Another thing that will be now connected to the coloring is you need to trust the process a little bit. When you're coloring and the colors don't work together as well, and you have a reference and you know that those two colors are on the picture, but they don't look good when you color it and you have the line art and just the flat colors, don't worry. Like, trust the process, because a color is different, like the same color on the skin will look different than the same color on the skin with different color shading combined. Like, for example, the skin color, you want to make the skin color very warm, very like orange maybe, and it doesn't look orange enough. But it's not because of the color. Sometimes you just can't, with a flat color, you can't make the same effect as with a shaded color. So just wait, give it some shading, give it some color, some in between, like when you shade and you have the light color and the shadow in between, add some saturated light. It always works. Trust me. So yeah, trust the process and remember that colors will appear different in combinations together. Like, color alone is not the same color as color combined with a shadow or a light or anything. Like, maybe even a line art next to it with a specific color. So, as you can see, I already started shading and I'm doing it pretty easy. Like, I just do my very common way of shading. I do it all the time. I just take the extra smooth edges coloring from Procreate Brushes set. And I just shade with a pretty weird looking shapes. But if you know anatomy, like learn anatomy of the face, and shadings like this will come easier to you. Because shading like this, to be honest, it's not easily visible on the reference. And that's the tricky side. Because I know the anatomy of the face so well, and I know what works well even though the anatomy doesn't fit really good, which is a whole different world. I can talk about it a little bit later in this video. When you know the anatomy, you know how to play with the shading, you know what parts, what shadows make your character look better, worse, more dramatic, or change the face features a little bit. When you start to blend, just like me right here, I'm blending with a soft blending from Only Blend brush set. And when you start blending out the edges, just like me, you need to think about how soft you want the edges to be, because it's very crucial difference. When you want to make a strong edges shadow, strong edges shadow just like on under the eyes a little bit, just like under the nose. But on the cheeks, it will be a soft shadow because the cheek is bigger, it's rounder. When you make a soft edges shadow, it means you want to make something round, like full of volume. When you make a strong edges shadow, it means the shape ends strongly. Like, if you want to have a very defined nose, you make the nose with a strong shadow. And you can not always see that well on the reference pictures, but it's good to also learn from other drawings, not only other references like pictures, but also drawings, because you can change the way the shadows work only if it's something people already use, because you see the comics, people know the language of how comic creators translate the reality into drawing. So it's more obvious, it's easier, it's you can't just come up with something yourself completely. Always take reference, learn from drawings, and learn from real life pictures. So as you can see, I'm adding some highlights, and you can see them. I'm using the selection tool, which if you learn how to use it, it can be like your favorite tool. So basically, you just select some of the spaces, some of the places, I don't know how to call it. Look at the reference though, like where should it be? Because it's not obvious, like trust me, it's not. And take the airbrush, it's a brush you have in every Procreate, every app like Photoshop, anything. Just a soft edges airbrush. And when you select a area, yes, area, when you select the area, try to play with it, like try to use the airbrush, draw near to the edges if you want to create a little bit of the hard edge, but you're going to blend out most of it. You're going to blend out most of it anyway. So you can see me making very weird shapes on her face, which don't make sense at all. And just like I said, trust the process, right? Even me doing it really often, I still experiment a lot. I still do things that don't make sense to find out they don't make sense, or I do new things, they think that they will not make sense, but in the end they look really good. So don't be scared to experiment. Digital art has this very big con, which is you can go back, you can erase very easily. Remember to work on multiple layers though, guys. Huh? Trust me, you want to. And then I'm going to blend everything out, which is such a great part of this drawing, because I love changing weird shapes I planned out, and I had a plan of how I want to make it look like, and they look bad, and I take the blending brush and a few movements and it looks amazing. It transforms into something real, just like her eyebrow bone. Do you see it? Can you see it already? Like the shiny, round eyebrow bone with volume. Ah, I love it. You should be like me. You should adore your work just like me. I have a big ego of my work. Wait, this sounded like a song. Just like me, just like me. I don't know. It's from Eminem, I think. I'm not sure. Use the blending brush also a lot, like experiment with it too. The blending brush I use, you can do a lot with it. You can take the color a little bit further, you can change the shapes. When you press harder, you can recreate hard edges. I can't really explain it to you guys that much just from watching. I hope you can learn the rules of how it works a little bit, and the rest you will learn just by doing it yourself. Change the sizes and change the pressure you use when you blend, because when you use the bigger size and you pressure when you press soft, you can make very soft, very big edge shadow, just like on the forehead. The first shadow I made was way smaller, so I made the blending brush bigger. I pressed softly, and I made this round movement around it, and like this I made the area bigger, and it actually looks like her forehead and not like just a white circle. When you draw cartoonish style, you can leave some of the edges sharp, like very sharp. But here, and also mostly because you use the selection tool, and the selection tool doesn't ever have good edges. I don't know what kind of a professional artist with how much years of experience in using selection tool you need to have to actually make good edges when you select an area, because for me it's always wobbly, it's always ugly. So always, you need to always blend the edges at least a slight bit. Like, it will still look like a hard edges brush, a hard edges shadow, but it will not. You see what I do? You see what I do right now? I leave it pretty strong near to the nose, but not this kind of too harsh kind of shadow. You know. So I did cut out some of the steps because one, my camera likes to die and not tell me, which is very immature, it's very mean. So I might buy a new camera because we don't like each other, I think. But anyway, and I just don't leave everything, of course, to not make this video too long. So yeah, but still, I shaded the whole face and gave highlights, everything together, from coloring to shading, all the shading, just finished skin. It took me about 30 minutes, and it's not that much. When you use a reference and have some art supplies like brushes you're comfortable with already, and you've done it a few times, trust me, you can do it in short time too, even shorter, like even way shorter. It's all possible. Now I'm going to change the line art a little bit, which is more unique to my style, my kind of style. Not everyone leaves the line art, but I love to leave the line art. Even when I go for really realistic skin shading, I love the line art. Like, this is just my style, this is my vibe. I can't change it ever, which I'm actually happy about, because if I wanted to change my style, it would not be in my favor when it comes to all my following, because you guys follow me probably for my style, obviously. And let's talk about, is there anything else to talk about? Like, I'm changing the color of the line art, slightly changing the lips, as you can see. I'm just experimenting, seeing what will work, which would not be possible if I didn't do everything on separate layers. So guys, do everything on separate layers. Again, I feel like a mom that has to repeat to you guys to wear a hat when it sun's out. I will be your mom if you want. I can be a mom. So use layers, guys. Flip your drawings and wear sunscreen because it's hot outside. You don't want to burn your skin. Just adding some eyelashes. I love adding eyelashes. Now I am obsessed with the cute eyelash colic from Perfect Eyelashes brush set, which I am obsessed with for a few months now. I'm probably going to change it when I get tired of it to another brush from this brush set, but now I am obsessed, so I can't use anything else. That's how my life looks like in every area. Food too. I can eat the same food every day for such a long time, and then one day comes and I can't eat it anymore. The same with brushes. So yeah, I can make another separate video maybe about lashes, but it's pretty easy, like nothing complicated, so I'm not sure. But it's the end of the video. I'm just going to add some highlights and final touches, but the most important part is already finished, like the skin, obviously. So guys, let me know in the comments if you like this video and if you prefer this kind of videos where I just talk slow pace, I have a lot of time, it's a long video, 20-minute video, or do you prefer a video where I do everything a little bit quicker, it does take more time, so I can't do as much of them. And yeah, just let me know in the comments if you like this kind of tutorials in this format. So thank you guys for watching. If you watched the whole video, you know you're in my heart. Like, I love you, I really do. Thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you or hear you in the next video. And yeah, subscribe, like, everything. Love you. Bye, kisses.